Hey, how you doing? Well, I got my chores done. I got washed up in the back porch. I got my soft shoes on, and I'm ready to have some fun with you in the kitchen. I'm L.J. Martin, and I'd like to welcome you to the kitchen at Wolfpack Ranch, where we're all about good food and country cooking. Not going to know what country till they take a little peek in the pantry and see what's on the menu for today. I'm blessed to be married to Kat Martin, who's a New York Times best-selling romantic suspense and historical romance writer. As a result of the fact that she's sold in lots of countries over the world, we've got to do lots of traveling. I've elbowed my way into some wonderful kitchens, and both commercial kitchens and wonderful restaurants, and also into some homes all over the country, all over the world. And I brought back lots of great recipes, and I'm going to share those with you. We're here in the shadow of Montana's incredibly beautiful Sapphire Mountains. We're blessed to be here also. We got all kinds of wonderful game in the mountains, but we're going to stick basically to what you can buy in your local markets. We're going to take your food from the mundane to the magnificent, though. We're going to use a lot of tricks that I've learned around the world and around Montana and the Pacific Northwest and all over the Southwest, places that we've traveled, places. I'm a writer too. I got a few books out there, 20 or so. And we've traveled a lot around the West for my books. So we're going to have some fun putting that all together. Let me take a little old peek in the pantry. Let's see what's on the menu for today. Don't you dare go away. While I'm gone, I'm going to give you a peek at Montana and why we live here and why we love it so much. Wolfpack Ranch in the Pacific Northwest. Don't go away. Hey, okay, while you were out, I found a couple of beautiful little game hens. These are Cornish game hens. These are handled in my local little country market here, 6 miles from the house. And they're wonderful. But you don't have to have game hens. You can do this with, if you got chuckers, if you got grouse. Probably could do it with a pheasant too, although the pheasant's a little dry. I'd wrap it in bacon or do something a little bit different if I was doing it with a pheasant. But any small chickens work for this recipe, or game birds. Great little guys. I'm gonna cut them right down the backbone. And we're gonna fillet them out, split them open. Thusly. They'll cook through and through a little faster if you do it that way. Then we're just going to season them up. We're going to brown them in the skillet before we throw them in the oven. And then we're going to do a spaghetti squash that I found. I love spaghetti squash. Great healthful vegetable that's good for you. Fun to cook. You can do it like spaghetti if you want. I don't know if you've ever seen it used, but spaghetti squash comes out like spaghetti. It's great fun. We're going to use some little red peppers that I found. I got a few little mushrooms and little green beans just to make things pretty and have a nice color. You notice I'm working on plastic, by the way. When I work with fish or chicken or fowl, I always work on plastic. Wood is great. I love wood, my wood cutting board. I got a bamboo and I got another one too. And but you know, they get little cracks in them, and you need to make sure that you don't want to make your family sick. So these are great little birds. I got some sea salt. I'm going to salt them just a little bit. I got some garlic salt. I'm going to be a little more generous with the garlic salt. I got some lemon pepper. I happen to love lemon pepper. I think it's one of the great additions to the spice rack since I've been cooking in the last too many years. I don't even want to tell you. Started cooking when I was 8, and came home. My brother said, "Hey, Mom's working awful hard. We were raised by my mom." Said she's working too hard to come home every day and have to cook. So you and I are going to cook. So We started early on, cooked my way through college. This is thyme. Thyme is one of the great spices. Thyme is one of the reasons that French cooking is so revered. It is the classic French spice. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna turn them over. While we're doing the back side, I'm gonna throw these in the oven in their little skillets that I brown them in. So I got 2 little skillets here. We're gonna turn both these guys right up to high. There we go. Little extra virgin olive oil there. Go ahead and brown these. Spaghetti squash I have in the microwave. I learned a little trick with it. A friend taught me if you throw it in the microwave for 3 or 4 minutes. I used to fight to slice those things in half because they got a shell on them. You'd think they were a turtle. And but if you throw them in there for 3 or 4 minutes, we're going to cook them in there too. But you got to get them cut in half, and you got to get the seeds out of them. Okay, we're going to set that little guy aside while the olive oil is warming up, getting popping. We'll bring this little guy in here, then let's just see if it's any easier as it's reputed to be. It's still tough, but it's not near as tough as I have seen them be in the past. Tell you, I've taken these things, it took a man and boy to get them open up. Okay, there we go, full of seeds. Full of seeds, isn't that amazing? If I was a good farmer now, I'd be taking these seeds and drying them to plant. Okay, we got the seeds out of that little guy. We're gonna take the seeds out of this little guy. Okay, we're gonna let that set for a second. And we may just have a hot skillet. Oh, is that hot? That's a hot skillet. Okay, here we go. That little guy's in there. This little guy's in there, and I'm gonna need to turn on my fan, get that going. I got one of these, my wife bought me a beautiful new 600-degree spatula, so turn those down a tad. I'd like to tell you I got this particular recipe from someplace in particular, but they seem to do these little birds all over the world. Every place I've been, even in Fiji, they had little game hens right out of the jungle hens they call them. That's where our chickens originated from, is South Pacific, as jungle hens. Okay, we're gonna set these guys over here. We're gonna get these going for a minute. Okay, while I get things ready to go pop these guys in, why don't you take another look around Wolfpack Ranch and beautiful Pacific Northwest. I'll be right back. Okay, I did a little better job of cleaning these squash up. We're going to add just a little bit of touch of water to them. We are going to throw a little salt in here. I've got sea salt, but kosher salt, sea salt, regular old salt, salt pretty much for this dish. We're going to put a little tiny bit of lemon pepper in them. You know how I said I love lemon pepper. We're going to put a little bit of garlic salt in them. Okay, then we're going to take a little saran wrap. Super simple. Super simple. I love simple dishes. Simple but elegant. And this is a dish that you could serve your husband's boss or your wife's boss or the preacher if he came to call. without being a bit embarrassed, as you'll see by the time we get ready to dress a plate up. We're going to seal these up so it holds the heat into them. I know there's some conversation about putting plastic in the microwave. I keep watching it on the internet to see if anybody has actually established that it really is a problem. If it is, I'll stop doing it. We're going to put these in. We're going to start them out at 10 minutes on high in the microwave. And away they go. They'll cook away. I'm going to get rid of this guy again. This little plastic fella, and then we can go to some wood. I'm going to clean up my bell peppers. By the way, you buy these bell peppers in a bottle, and I buy a big bottle of them, and there must be 6 or 7 bell peppers in there. It costs $3.50, but these are all finished. They're done. Costs less than I could buy them for at the market, and they're beautiful and ready to go. So, you know, I'm not one for working any harder than you have to in the kitchen. Well, looky here. That little guy is browned. Turn his partner over here. We'll flip them back over before we put them in the regular oven. I got the oven going 350 degrees. We've got some. I used to not like green beans when I was a kid, but they've got these green beans down to where there's not stringy anymore. There was just something about string beans that just didn't work on my palate when I was a little guy. We're going to do those very simply in a pot with some of these beautiful mushrooms. So we'll let the beans cook a little bit before we throw the mushrooms in, because it sure doesn't take much to do mushrooms. Mushrooms are going to be in there to pretty it up and give a little variety to the dish. These are white mushrooms. Creminis, you get browns these days. You get all kinds of fancy ones. You get portobellos, which is what they named the mushrooms that grew too big to sell when they were first started out in the mushroom business. Somebody said, what are we going to do with those? And some smart marketing guy said, we're going to name them portobellos. Now, you get the little brown ones. Instead of calling them browns, they call them baby portobellos, because they sell better, I guess. Okay, here we go. Starting to brown, we're going to finish it in the oven. And in it goes. We're going to run that for about 30 minutes, get a good 350 degrees. We're going to take a peek at it. It's not done, we're going to let it stay a little longer, because my darling doesn't like any red in the joints on her fowl. And I don't blame her. I don't give a hoot as much as she does, but she doesn't like it that way, so we're going to make it right. Okay, while this squash is finishing up, while we're finishing up our beautiful little game hens, take another peek at Wolfpack Ranch in Montana. We'll see what kind of critters are sneaking around. I'll be right back. Don't go away. Say, hey, okay, while you were out, I've been messing around here. We've got these beans ready to go in a little water. I got a ½ inch of water here, and I'm just going to drop them in there just to braise them good. We don't want to overcook them, and we're going to add these mushrooms in just a minute. I got a little butter here. There's nothing like fresh, beautiful French green beans like that with a little butter on them. So I'm going to drop a little butter in there. I got these guys ready to go. We're going to pull our spaghetti squash out of here. Let's just see how they're doing. While you were out, I put 2 more minutes on them, so they've been in there for 12 minutes total. Okay, I got a little spoon here. I've got a, look at that steam. Isn't that something? Isn't that pretty the way it does that? Okay, we're gonna let these, look at that, come out of there. Perfect. We had some spaghetti squash. We could play like we were eating spaghetti, only not nearly so fattening. There's that one. Oop, got a seed in there. Don't want to bite in that little guy. Here's another one. As you can see, it's plenty hot. We don't have to worry about it being hot, that's for sure. There, this one comes out. Look at it come out of there. Spaghetti squash is wonderful and healthful. Sometimes you don't need carbohydrates with your dinner. You don't need potatoes, you don't need noodles. If you got something else that's as fun and as flavorful. Okay, now, rest of my lemon pepper. Little garlic, salt, isn't that wonderful? And the rest of my thyme, just to tie this dish, all of these dishes together. A little more salt, hefty pinch, and soy sauce. About a tablespoon of soy sauce in that whole little guy. We're gonna put that all together. We're gonna blend him up a little bit. Okay, now in goes our beautiful red bell peppers. You can buy these red and yellow, by the way, in the jar, and they're fun too. This gives it a little extra snap, a little nice flavor to it. Okay, that's going. I'm going to drop these in on top of our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful green beans. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to bring back our plastic. I hate cold plates, So I'm going to throw these in the microwave. We're going to put them in there for 2 minutes. We're going to clean this little guy up. I wonder how they look. Let's take a peek. Cooking away. Oh, and beautiful. Golden, golden, golden brown. Might throw a little almonds in there if I had them, but no, you don't have to get too fancy. Okay, our plates are done. They are nice and warm. We have we have a pair of these grabber-uppers. These guys are ready to come out. So we're going to have something to set them on. Look at that. Is that gorgeous? Pretty and colorful. Pretty and colorful. Snuggle that little guy right in there. Snuggle this little guy right in there. And look at that. Look at that. Look at that. My Oriental art instructor when I was in college. Told me three primary ingredients to design grasshopper. He was an Oriental gentleman. And he was right. Actually, he said odd numbers. You have 3, 5, 7, but 3 is good. Oh, that is so pretty. So pretty. Okay, I'm gonna sneak a little tiny bite right off the side. Let's try it right there. Don't tell my darling I'm doing this. Oop. Skin is crispy. Meat is juicy. We got another winner. Hey, I want you to remember the thought for the day. The best sermons are lived, not preached. We're going to see you again soon. Take good care of yourself. Kat and I love having you here. I want you to come back and see us at Wolfpack Ranch. Hugs to you and your family from Kat and I. See you again soon.